What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This or Therapy. It's a show where I talk about anything I want to because my name is attached to it and I have creative control. I am your host, Chris Mack, and today we are talking about none other than the Mound of Get Down. The big black girls, Beyonce, okay? We're talking about body positivity queen, Miss Rump Shaker on Instagram, busted wide open anytime she can, Lizzo. Now, I don't know if you pay attention to anything in pop culture, but right now, Lizzo is under fire for some alleged crimes. One is a SA of her dancers, SH of her dancers, and also body shaming. Which is crazy because she is the one that has been so hard against people talking about her body, and if this is coming out to be true, it's wild. It's always the people that fight the most, right? It's like a politician who fights against gay or LGBTQ rights, they end up turning out to be that themselves. Now, I want to say this right off top. I don't know if she's guilty or not. This is all alleged. I do not know if she's guilty or not, and I'm not going to sit there and have my opinion and say that she's guilty. I'm going to wait until the evidence comes out and we see what is said and what is shown to us as the public. Because I know that people, as soon as allegations come out, the second an allegation comes out, that's when somebody immediately is guilty, right? Especially if it's a man, right? Because like with Jonathan Majors, as soon as the allegations came out, everybody was like, he did it, he did it, he did it. And now 4 months later, we're now seeing none of that was true. There's a mound of evidence to prove his innocence, and now there's some people out there looking quite dumb. Now, I don't know if this is true, but allegedly, Miss Lizzo, the Pied Piper, there was also somebody else who called themselves the Pied Piper. Just want to put that out there. Not gonna say no names. So allegedly, while overseas in Amsterdam, Miss Lizzo allegedly coerced and peer pressured her dancers to touching female body parts at a strip club. Another female dancer encouraged her to the point where the dancer said no, and then she got a crowd to cheer her on to make her do it, and I guess she did it under duress. Also, there was talks of her telling her dancers that they have to weigh a certain weight to be one of her dancers. After many months spent defending body shaming, apparently she's doing that. Allegedly. I'm going to put that out there again. Allegedly. Sprinkle it in, okay? Because I know people want to say, well, you just think that she's guilty. I don't think that she's guilty. But I do think it's kind of ironic that she's coming under fire for something like this, because for what she's been fighting for and being a crusader for, this is kind of wild. So far, this is all the information you got. It's just a lawsuit. No official charges have been filed. But I do think it's wild that this is what she's being accused of, because, that's what you've been fighting for this entire time. I mean, you can't wait to bust it wide open, put it on Instagram, where, buttless chaps, bootyless chaps, have the cheeks always out, showing bikini pics and things of that nature. And she swears that she's not trying to lose weight to appease anybody. She just works out to be fit. And honestly, she's somewhat fit, because I've seen her dance on stage and move around. She sweats just like anybody else would in concert lights, and she keeps it going. So she's in somewhat shape. So obviously it's something of a diet variety that's keeping her away from being slimmer. But I do find it wild that she's telling her dancers that they can only be a certain size, right? Because I guess she has to be the big one on stage, right? Or the biggest one on stage. It's just interesting because nobody's coming for her. I don't see any, there's a lot, usually when stuff like this happens in media, especially in this way, like I don't see any feminists coming out to defend her yet. And I don't see anybody saying that she's innocent, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I just see, people are talking about it, but I don't see anybody coming to her defense, especially the big women. And I feel like they're probably disappointed. And I would be too. I mean, imagine coming out like somebody like Dr. Umar, who always preaches you shouldn't marry interracially, you shouldn't, date a white girl and all this other stuff. What if he found out he had like, 10 illegitimate half-breed babies, right? That would throw away. I'm not saying I support what he believes in that matter. I'm just saying if you do support Dr. Umar and you find out like he has, mixed kids all over the nation, it would throw you off, right? It's just wild. It's like finding out your favorite couple is not so great. So my opinion so far is that if this is true, that this is wild, because for somebody who's been fighting for body positivity, it seems like she's not so body positive to herself. And I know everybody's gonna blame. I've also been hearing this, like people are blaming black men, saying that it's our fault that she acts this way, and that she chose because it's her internalized misogyny and judgment from us as men that made her act like that. But that's such a cop out. You can't use what other people are saying when you're sitting there fighting against it and then say, well, that's the reason why I did it, right? It's like you the person who bought the drugs, buying the drugs to say, you know what I'm saying? Like buying the drugs because, a drug dealer told you to buy the drugs. That's not how it works, right? You still made the choice to buy the drugs. Therefore, you still have to face the consequences, whether it be, your body rotting or you going to jail. So you can't blame anybody else for your mistakes. That's just not fair. That's not cool. And that's not taking accountability. It's not being an adult. No doing that. So nobody be giving her excuses. She chose to do what she wanted. Nobody gave R. Kelly any excuses. Yeah, you know what? When he was a young kid, things happened to him that may have messed with his mind. But guess what? He still did what he did, and he's still a monster, and he's still in jail. It's called accountability. We are all adults, and we have to take what comes to us. So, with that being said, let me know in the comments how you feel about the situation, if you've heard about the situation, and, let's converse. I would love to hear anybody else's opinion on it, because this is wild. But again, it's all alleged. We don't know if it's true yet, so let's wait before we immediately put her on the cross. Yep, because I'm totally for that. Guilty until proven innocent. All right, guys, that's it for today. Join us again for the next episode. Peace.